So they say that Guilty Gear players strongly dislike any character that's not their own, but what about a brand new original character? So I started this series way back in season 1 when they announced Baiken as a DLC character. As there was a long joke of the only people who wanted Baiken back in the game were people who didn't play the game and people who played Baiken. Who knew that would end up maining this character in the future though, but that's another story. So this series has been a fun way to like meme a little bit, but also introduce people to the character concepts that they're adding to Guilty Gear Strive. But new characters are an entire other beast though. Guilty Gear is a legacy game, so the biggest stress of adding a new character is just that. They're new. It's a great opportunity to add new ideas into the game or to help people catch up with longtime players. But if you're a Strive player, new characters include Happy Chaos and Gold Lewis, among others. These characters can really shake up the game though, so take Slayer. Slayer might seem like a weird one, but once upon a time, he was a brand new character in Guilty Gear, and he was added way back in XX. One of the main problems with him was not only the backdash cancel technique, which made it so you could make many things have invisibility on startup, which is as powerful as it sounds. But in that version specifically, he had a loop with his Blood-Sucking Universe. If you're an Exer player, you know Blood-Sucking Universe as the move that gives other moves counter hit. If you're a Strive player, you know Blood-Sucking Universe as Nago's command grab, or his command grab that makes everything in the universe counter hit. But on launch, he could combo it into itself, which is about as powerful as it sounds. But hey, to be fair, that game was from 2002 or something. It is a very old game. Back then, we were still getting sold on how realistic water was in games. So I feel like this actually really came to a point in Guilty Gear Xrd, because Xrd has a bunch of notable new characters. For starters, they're the Valentine's characters, Ramathal, Elphelt, and Jacko. There's Kum Hyun, the only female super heavy character in Guilty Gear. There's Bedman, unquestionably, Heyo, along with Raven, Leo Whitefang making his first appearance, contrary to any tourist opinion, Sin, and Answer. So you have two extremes here. Leo and Sin are standard characters that are simple and your fundamentals can carry you quite far. Leo leans into his back turn stance, like in Strive, and Sin surprisingly had a much more in-depth meter system in the calorie system compared to what he has in Strive. These characters, from a competitive perspective, performed very well as well. Sin is an EVO winning character. Leo performed very well in Japanese Nationals despite being considered a mid-tier character. But then you have the other side, characters like Ram, Elphelt, and Jacko. These characters have pretty unique playstyles. Ramathal used her swords to control sections of the screen independently of herself, along with having very unique chain-style Gatlings. And Elphelt had two stances and a grenade. The shotgun stance was a powerful game-deciding stance, and the sniper rifle functioned as anti-zoning, actual zoning, and was useful for powerful setups. She also had a grenade used for neutral control, pressure, and knockdown, and gun moves could explode the grenade, which had quite a few uses. Jacko had these houses that would sit on the screen with minions spawning from them, resulting in a very unusual kind of defensive playstyle around where the houses are. Which goes to say, when they add a legacy character to Strive, they do have some baseline thing to work with that they modify to make sure the character focuses on something that people would expect from the character, but something that makes sense for the new game. Where a new character could add something that's totally unexpected to the game. But I don't think it's enough to just say, it's a new character, so it's going to be annoying to learn how to fight, and they might have a new annoying gimmick that we all have to deal with. Now, the main thing about Unika specifically is that she's from the anime. So as this anime's promo for Guilty Gear, go watch it if you want. I've been watching it and it's been a fun watch, I'm not gonna lie. But she's so prominent in this show that it would be pretty surprising if this character, which is kind of like an advertisement for the anime, and the main point of reference for people who have only watched the anime and not have played Guilty Gear, to be a weak character. Like, okay, we don't know, this is rare LK specula, but there's some stories about this in past Arxis games, so I feel like in their own original IPs, you don't really have to think about this. One of the games I played competitively was Persona 4 Arena and Persona 4 Ultimax. And in the original game, one of the best characters was Narukami Yu, the protagonist of Persona 4. And normally, at that time, we would expect for the protagonist character to be like strong at the beginning, but kind of fall off. Think of like a character like Ragna, like people figure out combos really quickly, but it doesn't have a strong gimmick to carry him through the version. Where Narukami was all around strong, like good offense, good defense, good damage, good mix-ups, just good everything. Today, games are tested with betas. Strive had 2 betas, and the second beta pretty much lasted until the game actually came out. At that time, fighting games were tested in arcades, and these were called location tests. And usually there'd be a couple rounds of these. And it wasn't unusual to hear about like former top tier, really strong characters to get absolutely gutted in the first location test, only to hear in the second or third one that characters would be buffed. And they would really lock in on what they're kind of aiming for the version. Both Narukami that I mentioned and Aigis actually were nerfed really hard to my memory in this Loke test that none of us got to play, by the way. And when I actually got to play Ultimax on release, it wasn't too surprising that they were good anyway. But there was always a rumor that like Atlas was like, hey, you can't have Narukami be bad. He's the protagonist of Persona 4. You can't have Aigis be bad. She's so important in Persona 3. Like, specifically because they're in the source material. It's always just a rumor that people would pass around that I thought was really fun. And Unika herself is pretty strong in the actual anime. And jokes aside, she's pretty flexible. She could rush down if she feels like it. She can zone if she feels like it. And she's the first new character since Asuka released way back in Season 2. The Season 3 and so far the Season 4 pass have all been legacy characters. So with what we've gotten for brand new characters in this game, let's say I'm cautiously optimistic at best. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. By the time this video is out, I'm probably going to be in Japan and hopefully would have uploaded footage of this character already. So hopefully we get something cool and interesting because I'm actually pretty excited to play both Unika and Lucy. As usual, if you have any questions though, feel free to leave them in the comment section below. Like and subscribe if you guys feel like it. I'll see y'all next time. Peace.